I wonder if this is a call out to someone. I gotta say though, I like the layout that was set up for this tournament.
Oh yeah, the background's very nice.
Oh, video game gameplay.
Oh, it's happening. Okay, so this is the prologue. You're not going to see much of anything right now because you do not have the dash yet. And
Yeah, the dash that you may
main-
know this game for, you do not get until the very end of the prologue. So for now, the fastest way we're going to move is constantly jumping to increase our speed.
Small hops.
Yeah. And then this bird teaches us how to dash.
And we're just spamming the dash button to dash
Mm-hmm.
on first frame. Potentially, hopefully.
All right, we got sync on the in-game timers. That's going to last.
Is it?
Yeah, we have TGH running with a real-time timer, which kind of surprises me because we don't really do that.
Who knows? Okay, so anyway, concept of a lot of the Celeste game is going to be each chapter that we have here is going to be having its own little gimmicks and concepts going on. But we do also have the movement mechanics that will be consistent throughout all the chapters.
Yeah. What you see a lot of is a lot of hyper dashes. Basically, when you're ducking, if you can dash and then jump, you can get a lot of speed out of a dash. And then there's many other ways to kind of use a hyper dash. You can do an extended dash where you stay on the ground for enough time and then jump out of it to still get the speed, but also get your dash back. Dash is on a timer, so like even if you're on the ground and you dash, you get it instantly. You have to wait out a timer before you get your dash back. And so you can wait out that timer to get an extended dash and be able to dash in midair even when you get a great amount of speed. There's also wave dashes you can do, which has the same kind of effect as a extended, except you can pull it off from midair. And there's just a lot of other things. You saw a spike jump there. In a spike jump, you don't actually jump off the spike. You jump off the wall because hitboxes are deceiving. You probably should hit a spike, but there's like a small hitbox. And that's chapter 1. This game flies by fast.
Yes, this is going to go by in about half an hour.
Yeah.
So, we did actually have a couple deaths from YP, but as you can tell, like I said, this game is very speedrun oriented. So
Yeah.
the respawn timer is very short.
Yes. And so we're on to Old Site. We're going to have a few new mechanics here. The first one of them being these crystals you can grab, and they will give you back your stamina, which includes your dash and your wall grabs. The next thing is this space goo, which you can dash in, and you'll stay dashing in that direction until you're out of the goo. And then you'll get your stamina back when you get out of it.
Yes, and I like to think of chapters having like an A section as a B section as well. And going into the B section here with Siege, where we're getting chased by Battle Line, which is not going to be a huge problem for speedrunning wise, because we just dart past her.
Yep. If you've ever played Super Mario Galaxy 2, I don't know if they were in the first game, but in that game there are these cosmic clones, which they mirror your every movement, and if you touch them, you take damage. That's basically how Battle Line works here.
And also these little keys that you gotta collect all of them on screen in order to unlock the door. It does not matter what order you pick them up in, just all of them.
Yeah, so we just try and pick them up in whatever order is fastest. The first time I ever saw gameplay of this game, my friend was learning it for the 12-hour challenge, and every time they picked up all the keys, the doorbell sound would play, and I would always think my door was ringing, and I was like, wait, it can't be ringing because my dog's not barking.
Yeah, so that's actually a very common problem for streamers. I've noticed it when watching people play.
Yeah.
Everyone in chat is like, oh, someone's at my door.
Yeah, my dog is the best doorbell I have. But they wake up here, they realize, hey, I was dreaming up all this space goo and this evil parts of me. And then they go through the last section they just went through, but with no space goo and with basically no risk of dying. And that ends chapter 2.
Yeah. I do also want to point out a small thing, not really that huge of a deal. There are strawberries in this game as well that are, in this case, we're not going to care about them at all.
Yeah, they are entirely bonus collectibles.
Yes. And you may just end up picking them up by accident because it happens to be within the fastest route.
Yeah, you might see it right here. TGH picked up that strawberry doing that wave dash.
Of course, what's known as a swag berry.
Yeah. But in chapter 3, the main thing you see right now are these dust bunnies in this hotel. They will hurt you. And there's also going to be these little things on the wall and on some floors that you can go on them, but then dust bunnies will appear out of them, so you can't go back on them. There's also these platforms that move down when you stand on them. This game's really good at introducing new mechanics really quickly, and having you instantly understand them.
Yep, and something that actually isn't fully known at first, it's not really completely obvious, is if you're holding down on those sinking platforms, you actually will sink faster. And that is one of the inputs we use when doing a lot of our movement techniques, so it could be, you gotta be really tight with that timing.
Mm-hmm. And so now, we're soon to start the huge mess portion of the resort on TGH's end. The other two, a little bit behind. Oddbod Stream seems to be down. I don't know what's going on with that. But the huge mess portion, there are 3 areas you can go. And each one, there's 3 different kinds of things in the way. There's these boxes, these books, and these towels. And each route will clean up one of the 3. Which one we clean up? Depending on which one you clean up first, other routes can not have that thing. So, like, for example, there won't be any of the boxes in the other routes. So it can make things kind of interesting. However, we don't really care about that. The only reason we go the path we do is because we have to talk to Oshiro, the hotel manager, after each time we hit a switch. So the only thing that determines our route through the stage is how long it takes to get to Oshiro from the exit area of the segment.
Yes, and so the ones we go to, it pretty much spits us out right next to where Oshiro is going to be.
Mm-hmm. And there's Theo. He's a character you can talk to in the first 2 areas of the game. You might have seen him on screen in Chapter 2, but that's the first time we're forced to talk to him. He's a pretty cool character. I like him. Some people don't. We'll get into that one later when we see him again.
Yes, I think that while the A side, like I said, I'd like to say A portion and B portion of chapters, and while the A portion of this chapter is kind of, it could be daunting at first, I think it's the B portion that really is what makes people dread this stage.
This second half of the level, like at this elevator shaft that TGH was in and onward, is really what kind of gives this chapter its reputation as the first, like, super hard chapter.
A lot of people dread it, but I know that TGH says if you don't like this chapter, you're doing it wrong.
I mean, I like this chapter. I just struggle with it a lot. I think it's probably... again, it really proves itself as to the first major stopping point.
Mm-hmm. And we see Tej going for the first of 2 intentional deaths in this game, where you pick up the key and then immediately get thrown, intentionally die, so that you can keep the key while going back to the original start of that screen. Yeah,
just skips having to go backwards. In both screens where you intentionally die, there's usually a way to get to back to the start of the screen with 0 intention, or with 0 possible chance of dying, so the game's like, just keep the key if you die. We abuse that. But here, the hotel manager, because of story reasons I'm not going to go into, is mad at us and is evil. And he the way he works is he will try and every now and then he will try and charge us based on our horizontal position, or not our vertical position, when that lightning strike thing happens. So when you see it, you want to get out of, you want to either move up or down.
Yes, and I believe Tiege is on now the longest screen of this, the final one.
Yeah, this screen is evil.
Yes, this is a whole large string where if you get hit once, you will be sent all the way back to the beginning. And we got Revolution, we got YP going through it as well right now.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Revo's close to the final screen. I think he's on the third to last. Yeah.
Yep.
Because this screen, if you do this right, Ashiro will never touch you, and then that's the last screen. We're going to get to see the same 5 seconds from Oddbod before that happens. I still don't know what's happening with the stream there. But Golden Ridge, the first thing we're going to be introduced to into Golden Ridge are these bubbles. Bubbles basically act as a extra dash in whatever direction you're holding when you just about enter them. There's a little bit of a delay. You can cancel that delay with the dash button, but then once you exit the bubble, you'll have your stamina back, so you can get another dash after the bubble. The other thing you saw is the wind. The wind will push you in whatever direction it's blowing.
Yes, the wind becomes an impact pretty much right about when Tiege is coming up right now in this level.
And Tiege is about to do another spike jump. He's gonna... It looks like he's jumping off the spikes, but he's just jumping off a part of the wall that the spike hitbox doesn't reach.
Yes, it's just all part of, like, really understanding how this game's hitboxes work.
Yeah. And then we need this block. There's an extended dash we can do here to skip to the end of that room, but we need the block for it. I really don't understand. And YP getting the jump with the block. Revo getting the spike jump. We're seeing pretty good performance on Golden Ridge from all 3 racers. Oh, TGH. Missing the platform he wanted to wave dash off of and jumping right in the abyss. But already through the screen and the time it took for me to explain how he died, so again, very quick moving.
Yes, you can see that a lot, as we have been seeing a lot. And this screen that Tiege is on, you need this block. The fastest way to do it is using this block, so you have to wait for it to come over to you.
Yeah. That screen, the one YP is on right now with that key, is straight up an auto-scroller screen. There's no real trick to get past the key block, except for in task, probably. So you just kind of have to deal with it. And now the wind for TGH is just in brutal mode.
Yes. The start of, I believe, I call that the start of the B section, when we have this wind that is so strong that you have to dash in order to go forward in it.
Yeah, you know, I'm not going to bring up the obvious. Like, I understand what you're saying. When you say A portion and B portion,
I know that there are
the
B-sides. I know that there are B-sides.
Yeah. I'm just having fun, don't worry.
I'm within the chapter!
Oh. Yeah, I know. I'm being weird.
We also have these snowballs that come on from the right side of the screen. Kind of a similar situation to Ashiro, where they do come out at a timed spot based on where our vertical position is at a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also jump on them.
You jump on them, your stamina gets restored.
And dash.
Yeah, you could say 1 and 2 and it would be... Bottom left is stuck, we believe, because of internet problems with Oddbod and his stream. That's not something we can really do. What we can do is talk about the Mirror Temple. 3 things we get introduced to already. First thing, these dash blocks, every time you dash, they move on a certain track. You can use those to kind of get platforms in positions you want them. Next up, red bubbles. It's kind of like the normal bubbles from the last chapter, except they'll go all the way until you hit a wall or dash out of them. And then the last thing is switches. You dash on a switch, it opens a door. I feel like that one's pretty simple.
Yeah, that one's pretty much the most self-explanatory of all of them.
We already saw TGH do it. Revo just messed it up there, and YP already did it. But Revo is trying to jump through this spike here, and what that'll actually do is, there we go. It'll skip, that skips a few screens, because you're supposed to get a red bubble to fly over there. And what Teach just did, and what YP is about to do, normally in this game, there's a key in this section that YP's in, but what you can do is, you can skip this key and use the key later in the level to get the collectible heart. But since we're speedrunners, we don't want the heart, and since the game gave us a way to skip a key, we're going to skip quite a few screens by just not using the key.
Yep.
And not getting it at all.
Who needs keys?
Yeah, there's Revo doing it right now. And TGH is doing something weird. The Mirror Temple in this game, this chapter, is a bit weird in the story. So when you play the game for yourself, if you haven't yet, I'm not spoiling the story, but you control that eyeball thing, and you have to hit Madeline.
Casually, this whole chapter is a giant maze. But
yeah,
I view that section, at least from a non-story perspective, as a way to introduce the mechanic of the Seekers, which are an enemy that you see in the game. So you are controlling the Seeker when you first see it here, but you understand the concept of it dashing and it destroying blocks, and it will kill you if you touch it.
Mm-hmm. And then you get to where TGH is, and you realize, hey, it's a Seeker because it follows my position. And when it notices you, it will charge directly at you. Unlike the Ashiro and the Snowballs, it's not just vertical based. This one is actual position based.
Yes, and it also can pick up the keys for you for the doors if you let it dash through them.
Yes.
Bait it into dashing through them.
Yeah, and we're going to see that a few times, like you already have. This is a fairly close race between YP and Revo right now, but Teach just got a huge skip. Similar to the red bubble skip I mentioned earlier, you're supposed to get a red bubble to get over those spikes, but to get that, you have to go through these 2 sections to get 2 keys, and those sections can be really annoying and take a little bit. But with a well-timed dash, you can skip over them.
Yeah, it's a very useful skip that was also used in all Strawberry's routes, because in order to get that Strawberry without that trick, you need 3 keys. And so,
fun!
Yeah, so you just get 1 key and then use the skip, and you can just get Strawberry that way.
I don't really know anything about this game other than any percent because I've not looked into it, and Teach plays this game too fast for me to make any sense of it. But here's what I was talking about earlier about why some people might not like Theo so much. Is this section is really annoying. You have Seekers chasing you, but in order to open the door that leads to the next screen, you have to be holding Theo, who is imprisoned in this crystal because question mark.
He will not get hurt by Seekers, but if Theo falls down a pit, both of you will die.
Yes.
Any sort of he can also go through spikes; they don't affect him at all.
Yeah.
And pretty much everything.
The only
else
thing that can damage him is falling.
Yeah, pretty much everything else he interacts with. So.
Yeah, and then you see this hallway TGH is in. There's these little waves that'll push you back, so he stops at the right time for them to not affect him as much as they could, and he throws Theo's crystal at the eyeball, and the chapter's over. We got Revo here, I think caught up. Wait, no, I'm confusing the two. Revo's behind YP. Yeah, YP. You're already seeing different strats in rooms between Tej, YP, and Revo.
Okay.
But now, Tej is in Chapter 6. And Golden Feathers.
Yes, we got a new mechanic, the Golden Feathers, which people say is a lot easier to control on keyboard than on or D-pad than a joystick a lot of the time. It is basically you just fly around based on the direction you're going for a limited amount of time. They can also occasionally have bubbles around them, which you have to dash into the feather in order to actually get it,
Yep.
instead of just simply colliding into it.
Yeah. So you
we
got
also
second try like skip.
We also have these blocks where you dash into them, and they will go the opposite direction in which you dash into them. So down will go up, left go right, etc.
Mhm.
And I like to call them the blocks.
Yeah, and here Tej is using a nice abuse of neutral wall kicks. If you wall kick, jump against the wall without holding any direction, you'll be bounced back less than if you're holding a direction, and you can use that to infinitely scale walls.
And now we can hear a YP screen why I call them that. A sound effect that pretty much everyone that has run this game has absolutely loved.
It's pretty good. I actually really like this part that the three are in right now. After each screen, you're given an option to go either up or down, and up or down will have a different screen. So we kind of route out our movement to either go up or down to go to whatever screen's faster.
Yes, and because of all these branching paths, there are actually no strawberries in this chapter. So
Yeah.
if you're playing this casually, you don't have to go looking for anything. There are no strawberries, but there are hearts. There are hearts.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but alternatively, this stage has probably the most annoying crystal heart to get in the game.
Yeah. But I will say it's not in a branching path. If you know where it is, you can find it every time.
Yeah, if you know where it is, if you know anything about this heart, you probably don't like it.
Oh, it's not fun.
Or, I mean, you like the fact how it's hidden.
You need notes. You need notes.
You need notes. Teach users notes.
So now we go through this water that is floating in the middle of nothingness, like gravity, screw gravity.
You don't need it.
And the giant raw block going on here.
And I'm using a ton of speed to get through that hallway really quickly. TGH now in the battle and fight. Get your hey-yahs out in chat, I guess.
Well, as soon as YP gets to it, we'll get the music change.
Oh yeah, true.
And they're already being spammed.
I mean, it's a TH thing.
Yeah. It's in everything. I'm okay with it being in every chat.
I'm a TH sub, I'll join in. But yeah, the battle and fight, the goal is to get to battling each time, and then she'll move backwards or to the next screen. Hitting Madeline will restore your stamina, so as I mentioned, your wall climbs and your dash is going to be restored.
Oh, we also forgot to mention these bumpers that we have here.
Oh yeah, we never mentioned those. They'll bump you in whatever direction you hit them. You know how a bumper should work.
Yeah. Like
And they'll restore your stamina.
Player bottom left has internet issues. Tej now getting to the second section of this battle line fight, where we have moving platforms now as well.
Yeah. These platforms move on cycle. So of course we're going to be able to use them to our best to get through quickly. And that's something I never brought up back in Chapter 3, where it was important with the Dust Bunnies, is the cycle when you enter a room will sometimes be different than the cycle that happens when you die and respawn. That's the so sometimes the death cycle can be way worse. Sometimes it can be a pretty good cycle, but there's going to be no time where we purposely retry in order to get the death cycle over the normal cycle. Death cycle is more of a thing in other games.
And we got the glitchy hey-yahs in the chat now, for reasons that you're about to hear from YP.
When you get to the moving block section of the fight, the music gets more glitchy. Actually, this is super close between YP and Revo.
Yes, it is. And Tej now finishing up as with the now teaming up with Battleline. I won't explain why, and now has 2 dashes as opposed to 1.
So this is going to make movement crazy as we go into the final chapter of the game, the summit.
The longest chapter of the game, which involves mechanics from all the previous chapters, but not combining them, simply just keeping them all to their own individual sections.
You see this first section here, it has, it has your springboards, it has that stuff. But what's going to happen is, in the reflection, you kind of got sent far down the mountain. So in the summit chapter, you're going basically all the way back up. Through kind of mini versions of each area. So at the end of each area, you're going to see this thing where you have to touch these orbs for Battleline to throw you upwards. And then once you reach the last one, you're going to reach the next height of the mountain. So right now we're at 500 meters, which is going to be kind of a short little medley version of Forsaken City. You see the platforms that move when you touch them, stuff like that.
We're not saying why these things happen, they just happen. It's the one spoil that we have to go through. I'm sorry.
I mean, I have to make sense of the video game.
Yes. So much going on. This chapter has a lot of tricks going on that we are used in each individual screen to go faster, and so it's hard to like really concentrate on any one trick.
Yeah.
T's now at 1,000-meter mark, so he's reminiscing about the second chapter.
Old sight. One of my favorite chapters, actually.
Yeah, space blocks are very cool, actually. They're fun to use. Especially with their advanced mechanic.
Oh yeah, you can get some extra height out of space blocks by pressing your jump button when you get out of them. That's something they actually teach you in the Chapter 2 B-side, which B-sides are an extra harder version of the level you can unlock by finding a hidden collectible in each stage. And now we have the Celestial Resort 1,500-meter portion for Tej. This screen is... I hate this one, probably more than any other screen in the game. He's through it.
No problem, Tej.
It's almost like the world record holder is better than me at this game.
Nah.
It looks like since the last time I talked about the two on the right, YP's gotten a few screens more distance away from Revo. But he's still in 100 or 1,000 meter, while Tej is entering the Golden Ridge inspired 2,000.
Yep.
Words.
So the wind is going to vary a lot from screen to screen. And we got the bubbles back. And the snowballs as well. And don't forget this moving block.
Yeah, the moving blocks. The ones with switches on them, I never explained them. The one with switches on them, if you're standing on the switch, you can move them.
In the other axis.
Yeah, and the other, not the axis, they're automatically moving.
Okay, fine. I guess we won't forget about that skip. I was saying that there are a lot of tricks in this game, that it's hard to really focus on any one skip, but someone that everyone loves is skip, because it is a difficult skip, but it is done because it's faster, obviously.
Yeah. And Chad pointing out, Siege heading into 2500 with a great summit so far. I love the commentator's curse, if you couldn't tell.
Lori does not care.
I really don't.
And Tej coming up on door skip very soon.
Yeah, door skip, the legend. Before that, though, we have the second intentional death in the run. You might remember from Celestial Resort, the first one. That one was the second. It's almost time.
Chat is already memeing.
Oh my. I'm excited. Here it is. There's one. There's two. You got it.
Well done.
You're supposed to hit switches to open those doors like you always do in Chapter 5, but not that time.
Yes, it's a very annoying thing to do. In both actually doing it casually and doing the trick, because it can be precise movement. It is hard. It's not always very intuitive as to where you have to dash into the switch in order to activate it. It's actually pretty exact.
Yeah, but now we're in 3000. 3000, not reflection themed actually. This is its own unique area. Kinda interesting. A lot of mechanics are combined here, along with some kind of new takes on old stuff. Like, for example, we have vertical wind, making your life worse. But we also have these flags. You might see, but those flags are the checkpoints, and they count down to how many more flags you have to reach until you're at the summit of the mountain. With the quality I'm looking at, I can't quite see the numbers on TGH's flags, but hopefully I have a flag or two memorized based on position to know.
Yeah, so a good way to know is we start at 30, and every 10 we will get a new screen, quote-unquote. So we're about to enter 19 here, I believe.
Thank you, chat, for counting down for us. The hype to the finish.
We also will be skipping over a couple flags. I believe number 8 is one that is skipped because it is out of the way.
And I didn't pay attention to YP doing it, but I saw Revo get a pretty nice door skip. And apparently, according to chat, apparently YP got a pretty alright too. So all of them did a pretty good door skip. Oh no, Tej! Oh, had a dash used up. That's a terrible place to die, right at the end of that flag.
And to anyone who actually wants to watch any of these streamers do runs themselves, please do count down. Please watch them, 1, and 2, please count down in their chat, because it's really stressful to have that happening in your chat. And so it'll make it more tense for everyone participating.
There's one of the flags Tej skipped. I'm gonna get this one. I believe this one is number 9 that he just got, and that one is 8 that he just skipped. So he's almost done here.
Yes, the 7 was actually pretty clear to see there, for myself.
Yeah.
And now...
YP and Revo are into 3,000.
Now we have countdowns within countdowns in the chat. and we are on the second to last flag here for Tige. Number 2.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Somebody in a server... I had to actually moderate in a server. Stuff happened. But I see that TGH has made it to the summit and has finished! So TGH is our winner in-game time, because that's what we use as a 31:48. Very good. Sub 32 is an awesome thing to get in any situation.
Yes, TGH being the only one who has a sub 31. So
Yeah. But I think someone's going to get this soon, even if it's not our current second place in YP. I know Oddbod's aiming to get a better time.
So now moving on to YP and Revolucion, who are both on the final 5.
Yep. I think Revo is actually a little bit ahead of YP here. So we'll see the climbs.
I'd call it like half a flag.
Probably. That should be flag 1, though, for Revo. Starting to drop some frames, but we can still see him climbing. I think Revo is finished now with a 32:33, was that? And
Yep.
What time is that for YP?
Looks like a 32:40 maybe?
32:39. Really good race between those two. In our speed gaming TV room, we have RTA times of 36:08 from YP, 36:10 from Revo, and 36:12 from Oddbod.
Damn. So unfortunately, I not get to see Oddbod's finish on here, but it's still within the room.
And according to chat, yeah, this is a PB for Revo, I think.
So congrats, showing that this game is not perfected by any of these players, and when this tournament does start, you'll see that people will be continuing to improve on their own PBs.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this game, very fast, a lot of tricks condensed into 30 minutes or more, depending on your skill level, and it's just fun to watch. It's so fast.
Absolutely. Again, with the tournament coming up in just under 3 weeks, and with SGDQ coming up for TGH and YP, if you follow the runners, I can assure you that you will be seeing more runs of this game from them.
Yes, YP giving us that